Hey guys, welcome back to the course. In the previous lecture we have seen how it's possible to check the balance of our wallet. In the next series of lectures we are going to create our transactions. Means that we are taking our command line interface and sending from our application some Unicalc coins to other addresses. Doing that, I can close here the application to have more rooms. I can remove the console log here, and for doing that actually we have to split in three parts our function. Means we have to talk about creating a transaction, we have to sign the transaction, and then we have to announce the transaction to the network. Okay, for doing that we need to import and use other functionality of our SDK, and to set up also some other information to our network, we have to define the divisibility of our currency, like the Unicalc coin divisibility is set to 0 because Unicalc coins doesn't have decimals, and this information is needed when the system must calculate how many Unicalc coin you have to send. Saying that, we have also to create some other useful elements like the receipt, say HTTP, HTTP, yeah, that's not the right one. Let's say today it's very difficult to write something. Okay, is taken from the repository factory and create this time not an account repository but a receipt repository. Let's see, create a receipt repository. Okay, after that we are going to use also a listener, and to connect that we have to use our repository factory and create a listener like that. And now I think that is the last one. We have to create the transaction HTTP service. Let's say that is like okay, transaction service is equal to a new transaction service. This is taken in what it needs. It needs a transaction repository, receipt repository. Oh, the transaction repository I didn't make. I need to have a const transaction repository that is done by the repository factory, and this time I create a transaction repository. Okay, now that I have these two ones, I can give this to this one and the receipt HTTP as well. Yeah, okay, perfect. Seems that we have everything to start to create our transaction. Okay, let's create a function, create a transaction, and here we are going to ask about the row recipient address will be like string. Then we are asking the amount of how many coins we want to send. This is not null, but it's like a number. And we are also going to ask to provide the text that we want to send in the transaction. I think that we have everything. And this is getting back a transaction. Transaction. I think that we could have a, or say as a transfer transaction. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully is imported. Transfer transaction. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let's start to write some code here. Okay. We could say that we have a constant that is our snippet address of other where the wallet that has to receive the amount, and we have to use the address because we want to transform his as a right address for this blockchain, and then we can have from the raw address that is the raw recipient address. And this okay. Now we have to say for which currency we are going to do the transaction, and we are doing this transaction for new Mosaic ID that is the Mosaic of Unical Coin. Mosaic ID Unical Coin. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I think that we could think that I have everything to create a transaction. Yeah, let's say const transfer transaction equal to a new transfer transaction, or here transfer transaction to create. Yeah, and when we are creating a transfer transaction, we have to set up a deadline that is like of the type of create. Then I don't know why it's always going on the top of the system. Then for the recipient address, address, I don't know why I have always problems with that one. Recipient address. Then we are going to work with our mosaics. New mosaic, you know that is an array, and then inside of the mosaic we are to say for which currency it is our currency, and then here we have to use the information about how you can parse the amounts, and it's like the uint 64 from uint the amount that we are trying to send, power to the mass to the power of 10 times to the to the Unical Coin divisibility, right? I think that is fine. And then we have to send the plain message Okay, plain message dot create, and we are sending our text. Okay, and the last is the how much we are going to spend as the commissions, the fees that we want to be able to spend for this transaction, and this, let's say, is 20,000 Unical coins, or maybe it's not this one, but it's like, oh, the network type, and those are the fees. The fees are on the NAND blockchain. This is the maximums. Okay, deadline. Seems that we have an error here. What is? Probably I have to import it from the library. Yeah. Here we have created the transaction, and we have to return the transfer transaction. Yes, I think that we have done for the transaction, and we can continue in the next ones to make the function to sign with our private key this transaction. Okay, see you.